Since the dawn of time, stories have played an integral part in being human. Good stories teach lessons, impart morals, try and explain the origins of the universe, and of course, entertain. But some stories spark the imaginations of creators, inspire the courageous and ambitious, fuel the fire within the hearts of explorers, and allow us to see beyond our own reality. These are great stories. So how about this next story? Will it be good? Or will it be great? Let's find out, shall we? Now, suspend your disbelief, broaden your mind, ignite your imagination, and let me tell you a story. This is the story of the donkey, the table, and the stick. A lad named Jack was once so unhappy at home through his father's ill treatment that he made up his mind to run away and seek his fortune in the wide world. He ran and he ran until he could run no longer, and then he ran a little more. It was during this last little bit of running that he ran into an old woman who owned a stable. He was too much out of breath to beg pardon, but the woman was good-natured and forgave him. Jack told the woman of his troubles. "You're a likely lad," said the stable owner. "Serve me for 12 months and a day, and I will pay you well." So Jack agreed, and served the stable owner for a year and a day, helping her feed, tend, and care for all manner of things. When the year had passed, she called him to her, and said she had good wages for him. So she presented him with a donkey from her stable, named Neddy, and said that Jack had only but to pull on Neddy's ears to make him bray, and that when Neddy brayed, there would drop from his mouth silver sixpences, half-crowns, and golden guineas. So Jack pulled on Neddy's ears, and just like she had said, a whole pocket full of sixpences, half-crowns, and golden guineas fell from Neddy's mouth. Jack was well pleased with the wage he had received, so he bid the stable owner farewell, and away on Neddy he rode until he came upon an inn. There Jack ordered the best of everything, but the innkeeper refused to serve him without being paid beforehand. So Jack, wanting to pay the man, went off to the stable. He pulled Neddy's ears, Neddy brayed, and Jack obtained his pocket full of money. Little did Jack know that the innkeeper was suspicious of him, and had spied all this through a crack in the door. Then, when night fell, the innkeeper snuck into the stable and put a donkey of his own in the place of precious Neddy. So, the next morning, without knowing any change had been made, Jack rode away back to his father's house. When Jack returned home, he found that his father had died, and his house was now gone. Now I must tell you that near Jack's home dwelt a poor, mean widower with an only daughter named Anna, whom Jack had grown up with. Jack and Anna were fast friends and became true loves. Now that Jack had returned home and was older, Jack asked Anna's father for leave to marry her. "Never till you have the money to keep her," was the reply. For Anna's father didn't like Jack. "I have that, sire," said Jack. So he went to the stable and found Neddy, or what he thought was Neddy, and pulled the donkey's long ears, but nothing happened. So Jack pulled and he pulled, till he almost pulled the donkey's ears right off. But the donkey though he brayed and he hawed, and he brayed some more, let fall no sixpences, no half-crowns, and no guineas. The father, who felt he was being made a fool, picked up a hay-fork and beat Jack out of the house with it. Once again, Jack ran. I promise you he ran. He ran and he ran until he came bang against a door and burst it open. And there, inside that door, he found himself in the middle of a joiner's shop. "You're a likely lad," said the joiner. "Serve me for 12 months and a day, and I will pay you well." So Jack agreed, and served the carpenter for a year and a day, helping the joiner build, mend, and join all manner of things. When the year had passed, the joiner called on Jack. "Now," said the joiner, "I will give you your wage." And he presented Jack with a table, telling Jack he had but to say, "Table, be covered," and at once it would be spread with lots to eat and drink. Jack was pleased with his wage, so he hitched the table on his back, and away he went until he came to the inn. "Well, innkeeper," shouted Jack, "my dinner today, and that of the best." "Very sorry, but there is nothing in the house but ham and eggs," said the innkeeper. "Ham and eggs?" exclaimed Jack. "I can do better than that." So Jack unhitched the table from his back and said, "Come, my table, be covered." At once the table was spread with turkey and sausages, roast mutton, potatoes, and greens. The innkeeper opened his eyes, but he said nothing. No, not he, for he was cunning. That night the innkeeper fetched down from his attic a table very much like that of Jack's. And just like he switched Neddy for another donkey, he exchanged the two tables. The next morning, Jack, being none the wiser, hitched the worthless table to his back and carried it home. When Jack reached home again, he asked Anna's father, "Now may I marry Anna?" "Not unless you have the money to keep her," replied the father. "Look here," exclaimed Jack. "I have not the money, but I have a table which will always keep her fed." "Let me see it," said the old man. Jack set it in the middle of the room and exclaimed, "Table, be covered!" But all in vain. The table remained bare. In a rage, Anna's father caught the warming pan down from the wall and warmed Jack's back with it so that poor Jack fled howling from the house. Once again, Jack ran and he ran, till this time he came upon a river and tumbled in. A bridge builder nearby helped Jack out of the water. "You're a likely lad," said the bridge builder. "Serve me for 12 months and a day, and I will pay you well." So Jack agreed, and served the bridge builder for a year and a day, helping him to build bridges across rivers, streams, creeks, and all manner of things. When the year had passed, the bridge builder called on Jack. "Thank you," said the builder. "And now for what you have done I will pay you." So saying, the man tore a branch from a fallen tree and fettled it up into a club with his knife. "There," exclaimed he. "Take this stick, and when you say to it, 'Up, stick, and bang,' it will knock anyone down who angers you." Jack was pleased with his wages, so away he went to the inn. Jack reached the inn, and as soon as the innkeeper appeared, "Up, stick, and bang," was Jack's cry. At the word, the cudgel flew from his hand and battered the old fellow on the back, rapped his head, bruised his arms, and tickled his ribs till he fell groaning on the floor. Jack didn't call off the stick until he had gotten back his stolen Neddy and his table. Then, with the table hitched on his back, and the stick grasped in his hand, Jack galloped home riding atop Neddy. When Jack arrived in town, he found his true love Anna's father was to wed her to whoever was the richest suitor in town. Her father had arranged for all the suitors to show up at Anna's house, holding all the coins to their name to show her father. And whichever suitor had the most coins is who Anna would marry. So, Jack brought Neddy into the stable and pulled his ears till he had filled a whole cart with money. The next day, Jack took Neddy, the cart full of money, the table, and the stick to Anna's house. There, lined up outside Anna's house, were all the suitors in the town, for Anna was very beautiful and very much desired. All the suitors had their coins held up in their shirts to show Anna's father. As Jack walked nearer to the suitors, he cried, "Up stick and bang!" And as he walked along, his stick bopped each suitor on the head, and each suitor spilled his coin into the street. Jack pulled his cart of coins right up to Anna's father and parked it at his feet. "Now may I marry Anna?" Jack exclaimed. "Yes, you may," said the father. And with that, Jack took Anna by the hand and strode off. But not before Jack cried once more, "Up stick and bang!" And at that, Jack's stick gave Anna's father one swift smack on the head. Jack and Anna ran and ran until they could run no further. Then they ran a little more, and where they stopped, they built a house, where they lived the rest of their days, never wanting for a thing. For Jack and Anna had all the coins they could spin from Neddy, the donkey, given by the stable owner. All the food they could eat from their table, made by the joiner. And no harm would ever befall them while they had their stick, made by the bridge builder. And after that, Jack never ran again. So, was it a good story? Or was it a great story? Don't worry if you don't know, because the difference between a good story and a great story all depends on who's listening. So, whether they're heard round the fire, read in the pages of a book, acted out in a play, or simply absorbed with the inventions of the era, stories will continue to shape us as long as we keep listening. Now, ask yourself, did this story shape you? Until next time, if you'll have me, and if you will, let me tell you a story. Let Me Tell You a Story is a Railcar Studios production. For more information on the show and how you too can become a storyteller, visit lmtys.com.